back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Jazz, and typically I make videos like cooking, fashion. That's really it so far, but I figured the only video that I haven't made was, a little bit more personal, a little bit more, just candid and just me talking to you guys. So that's what I'm doing today. And honestly, I'm just doing this because I want to. I'm gonna be drinking, so if you're watching this video and you're 21 and up, because we don't condone underage drinking on this channel, so get some tea, get your wine or some water, and just sit back and let's have some girl talk or guy talk. It's okay over here. And if you see in the background, I am sampling more candles that I make. That's another thing that I do. I actually started my own business last year, and I'm in the testing phase. I do have a business, a home fragrance business, and right now I'm focusing on candles, ethically made candles, ethically made products in the future. But yeah, so that's what you see in the background. And I just wanted to kind of like add to the ambiance for this video. So yeah, a little shameless plug, okay? So before I get started, a little sip though. Okay, so before I get started, I want to make a little disclaimer. And basically these signs are from my personal experience and what I've just realized over the years. And from my standpoint, these are signs that I noticed just really out of thin air. To my knowledge, I haven't done anything wrong to anybody. So these are the signs that I realized, and just thought to write down and narrow down on this list because these are the most significant. So, and another disclaimer, I believe these friends that I'm mentioning, they were actually friends at first, but then throughout the years, I realized that, maybe they're not that good of a friend. One of them earlier than the other, but still basically the same thing. And I'm over here thinking that we're good, we locked in, like never that. They wouldn't do me like that, but from these signs, you can clearly see that that's not the case. So I just wanted to put that out there before we continue on with the video. I'm going to put that out there. All right, so number one, they look for any and every opportunity to make you look bad. Whether it's an unflattering picture, an unflattering video. Now, don't get me wrong, like I'm a jokester, I'm always laughing, I'm always smiling. However, sometimes it's no need to try to get a picture or a video, like, it's not really necessary. But there are times where something is funny as hell, you want to get on camera or video. I get that. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not a stickler or anything like that. I'm definitely, enthusiastic, full of life. I'm really a kid at heart, so I joke all day, for real. Like, I really try not to take life too serious. And once you get to know me, like maybe when you first meet me, I may have like a resting bitch face, or I may not be openly expressive as far. Honestly, anybody who knows me knows, like, I'm a jokester, I'm a good time, like I like to have fun, I joke a lot, I'm sarcastic a little bit, a lot. I don't know why I just lied like that. But yeah, so like I'm definitely not like, oh, don't take a picture of me, but sometimes it's not really necessary. So that's what I'm relating or referring to it with this point. So I had a friend who, any opportunity where I was like not looking the best or whatever, trying to take a picture, trying to take a video, and I'm like, bitch, like, why you always gotta take a picture? Like, for what? And I noticed she did that with like everybody she associated herself with, but at the time I didn't really think nothing of it because I'm like, whatever. But she did it a lot to the point where it got my attention. I'm just like, what is that about? And I would confront her about it, because that's one thing about me. Like, if I notice something, I'm gonna voice it or like bring attention to it, and not all the time confrontational, but I'm gonna let you know like I peeped it. So she like, oh, nothing, like trying to brush it off, but I'm just like, you know, like I kind of kept it in the back of my mind, but it was just like, why do you need to do that? Like, what's the point of that? So that's something to keep be aware of, rather. If they always try to get you slipping, like trying to get you to get a video, get a picture or something like that, to where it's like they have something in their back pocket to show of you or something like that. So number one, they look for any opportunity to have an unflattering picture or video, or even if we're taking pictures and somehow your pictures that you take for them come out bomb as hell, angles you on the floor, on your photographer type stuff. And then when it's the other way around, your pictures is blurry, not flattering, they got your bad side, like just trying to sabotage your shit, you know? Keep an eye out for that. All right, number two. They start acting weird when you announce good things going for yourself, and or they may downplay it, make little jokes calling your achievements little, you know, things like that, or overall just not normally expressive. Like if something genuinely would like happen and they're like happy about it, they would show it, but then when you mention something good going for yourself, the energy is different, you know, it's kind of like like not really genuinely enthusiastic about it. They just kind of like dry about it. You kind of feel like not dumb about bringing it to them, but kind of just like, maybe I shouldn't have said anything. Like if you get any of those type of feelings or anything similar, most likely that ain't your friend, because I know if any of my friends got something going on, I'm your biggest cheerleader. That's one thing. Well, that's one thing about me. Like I am a big supporter of my friends, even if they're not my friends, like, and I know them and I know where they came from, I'm always gonna root for you. I'm always gonna support you in any way that I can. So that's sign number two. Or just, you know, suddenly like they're distancing themselves after you announce this achievement that they probably thought you weren't gonna reach. You notice the difference in how they go about you, you know, just noticing that you don't hear from them as much as you normally would, especially if this is your friend, like your close friend, y'all talk every day, all of a sudden you hear from them like every other day, then like twice a week, then once a week, then every other week. Think about the last time you shared something good going about yourself. It's probably related to that. If you get that gut feeling, because honestly, your intuition will tell you everything you need to know. And that's another thing that I learned getting older. Your intuition will tell you everything that you need to know. So if you feel like, you know, something ain't right about the vibe, something's different ever since you mentioned you have this great thing going on, you got a promotion, you got a new car, you got your own apartment, anything where it's your reality is changing with the goals and the work that you've been doing, and you notice that they're not really celebrating you the way you feel like they should, or the way you know you would celebrate them, something to keep in mind. And most likely that bitch ain't your friend, okay? All right, number three. Let me take a sip if I go into this one. Crave male validation over being loyal to you. Now, don't get me wrong. You know, you got your boo, you happy, you in love, all that good stuff. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm a lover of love, okay? However, if you notice how, like, your friend is always dubbing you to hang out with that, let me not say, I gotta be mindful of what I say. You notice how, like, you know, you are usually there for your friend when it's the other way around. They want to vent, all that. You're there for them. And then when it's the other way around, they put in their mans before you, when it's like, okay, now I don't do this often. I'm coming to you because I need support, or you just want to hang out with your girl because you haven't seen them in so long, and they put that person over you every time. Something's not right about that. Like, I don't care. I'm a girl's girl. However, like I said, I know if you in love, you know, you want to be with your man. I get that. Like, one thing about it, like, I'm understanding. So, you know, if you want to be with your man, I get that, but it's like, if you truly care about this friendship that we have, then you make time for what you want, and you prioritize the relationships in your life that you care about or truly care about. So if you feel like this friend is always putting their man or whoever they decide to date over you every time that you want to spend time with them, or, you know, just if it's been a while and they always seem to put that person before you, most likely that ain't your friend. They're not a true friend, because for real, you make time for what you want, just point blank period. So that's something to keep in mind. And especially in conjunction with sign number 3, they don't live up to their own standards that they set for you. I'll give you an example. So it was a time where I had this friend and she was dating this guy. I'm happy for her because we both been struggling in the love department. You know, like, she's happy. Like, I'm happy that she's happy, you know? So she's doing her thing, got her man, and that's that. Like, I kind of knew like it was gonna be a difference as far as like how much we were spending time with each other, because we were like this, okay? You saw her, you saw me, you saw me, you saw her type of thing. So when he came into the picture, I knew like it was inevitable. Like, I understood that. Like, I'm not gonna try to cock block or nothing like that. Like, I get it. But when that situation was kind of rocky and she didn't really have him around like she wanted to, guess who she was on the phone calling, trying to have come over to chill, have some wine, you know, just hanging out. But then when y'all back good, you just kind of like drop me like a hot potato type shit. And then when I was dating somebody and she wasn't dealing with that person at the time, I'm with him, and she was on some like, well, sisters before misters. And I'm like, but where was that energy when you was with that? You know, like, what happened with that energy back then? So that's just a small example of what I mean as far as like them holding you at a certain standard when it's convenient for them, but then when it's the other way around, you know, like it doesn't matter, like it doesn't exist type of thing. And it's like, no, like, you do what you practice what you preach, and vice versa. Don't try to hold these standards when it's convenient for you, and when it's not, you know, the person should abide by it, and if they don't, like, it's the end of the world type of thing. Like, no, stick to what you said from the beginning and hold the standard to yourself, period. So sign number 3, you know, they seek male validation, they act different around guys, like they change their tone of their voice, all that shit, like, no. And then on top of that, with the male validation, like they switch up how they normally are when it's with you, just you, and when you're out at a bar, at a club or whatever, like basically everything that y'all stand for or what y'all thought y'all stood or understood and had a similarity on, all that go out the window, and they just act like a brand new person when a guy's around or whoever's around. Like, something to keep in mind. Could be a sign that bitch ain't your friend. Sign number 4, they only call to vent or complain, especially call and vent to complain about things that they can change on their own. Now, don't get me wrong. I know friends are supposed to be there for you to vent to confide in. And I'm all for that. Like I said before, I'm very supportive. I'm a girl's girl. Come to me with your problems. However, I feel like something's not right about the fact that they always call you and they always vent to you, but they never ask how you're doing or, you know, what you got going on. Something's not right about that. And if they do ask you if you have anything going on, they quickly change the subject. So it makes you feel like they don't really care to know what you have going on, genuinely. It's something to keep in mind of, because it's like, you call me all the time, you vent to me, you complain about these things, and then and that's another thing too. If it feels weird for them to ask you what you got going on or how you doing, that's another sign too, because it's like, if you don't realize it, like if you're a type of friend that you know, is always there for your friend. You're supportive. You are there for them in their time of need every time. And you kind of get taken aback by them asking you how you doing. That's a huge sign right there, because it's like you don't realize it because you're kind of conditioned to just be there for her and like allow her to vent and just not express yourself and what you have going on. That's another sign too that that's not really your friend, not a genuine friend, because it's like there should be an equal, you know, give and take type of thing. Like, you there for me, I'm there for you. So when they ask you how you doing and it feels weird, that's another sign. I didn't even write that down, but I just thought about that. Like, if it feels weird for them asking you how you doing, that's a sign right there. And it's probably because you're not used to being asked that by this friend. So sign number 4 is, you know, they don't really call you to talk to you just to chop it up. They call you just to vent because the other people that they probably put before you wasn't available, and you know, they know you're gonna be there every time. So they call you and complain and vent. And they don't care about what you got going on. So that's sign number 4. Number 5, they don't respect your no. So for an example, not even if, I'm talking about me personally. So I had a friend who, she was a drinker. She liked to turn up, she liked to drink, she liked to go out drinking. I'm not a hard drinker. I may have some wine here and there, but you would never catch me just throwing them back, like shots and all that. Like, I'm not a drinker. Like, that's not my thing. I'm telling this friend, like, you know, like, I'm not really trying to drink like that. Like, I'm cool. Oh, you a grandma. Oh, you this. Which I'm very much okay with being called a grandma. I actually take pride in being called a grandma, because it's like, I ain't nothing in them streets for me. Like, I ain't missing nothing. So I'm okay with being a grandma, okay? I'm okay with being a grandma. Like, that's fine. I'm a homebody at heart that likes to have a good time every so often. So, A-okay, okay? So, like, they'll try to pressure you. Even if you tell them no, you kind of feel like they are bothered by you telling them no, but they try not to show it. No. They're like, if you tell them no, that should just be the end of it. Or for an example, if you save them money for a specific thing and all of a sudden they want to go out like back to back, after you told them that you're saving money because you have this certain goal to reach, and they just trying to have you spend money, like, it's giving sabotage. It's giving sabotage. And that's not your friend, because a real friend will respect your boundary by saying, no, I don't want to do this, that, and the third, and leave it at that. Catch you on the next adventure, you know? So if they try to pressure you after you tell them no about something, most likely it's not your friend.